We've made a wrong turn, and Courtney wants me to drink some Pop Rocks with some soda. This is a Wrong Turn podcast.
Sorry, I got excited.
No, it's good. Good. Hey, Courtney. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. I'm well. Edgar, how are you?
I am also... Well, I'm okay, because I worked out really hard this morning, and I'm recovering from being in the hospital. And I threw up my lunch and my breakfast. So, but other than that, we're here to record and make things happen.
Yeah, well, I'm happy to hear that you are getting back into your routine. You know, going to the gym, feeling better, you know. Little by little.
Trying.
You're getting there. You'll get there.
But yeah, me and Courtney have been chatting and planning, and we spent like an hour just coming up with the timeline for the next year or so. So we're excited about that. We're gonna be stuck in the 90s for a while, guys.
Yeah, and
just
we're happy.
You guys know. We're going to shoot for 50% on IMDb on everything, and that's what keeps us happy here.
It is, because we've said it before. We love horror, like all horror. You know, the good, the bad, the ugly, whatever you want to say. But this podcast, our little wrong turn life here, we do better when it comes to things just being middle, and either we go good or bad, depends on how we feel.
Yeah, because you know what I think it's just the like I watch these movies loving them, and then in retrospect noticing these aren't great, but I'll still watch them all the time.
100%.
Yeah, this is where I live.
Yeah, like I guess it goes with just nostalgia in general, being like, well, you know, the familiarity of it, but still, like I will watch shitty horror movies endlessly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what we're here to do today.
Woo, urban legend.
Today,
woo.
Exactly. We have for you Urban Legend from 1998, a slasher film directed by Jamie Blanks and written by Silvio Horta. I just want to do a little thing on Silvio Horta for a second.
Yeah.
Because he is from my hometown, Miami, Florida, and I had no idea that I'm like, oh, respect. Some hometown love. We went to high school in Coral Gables, which I had plenty of friends that went to high school in Coral Gables. So it's just like, oh, like this is really close to home, you know? And the fact that like he wrote this movie that basically grew up on, you know, respect. And unfortunately, he did a bunch of stuff. Yeah, I think he had a pretty good career and a pretty good run. But unfortunately, he died in 2020 due to suicide. So if you are struggling with some thoughts, please reach out to somebody. But yeah, we'll pour one out for Mr. Silvio Horta for sure.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, I did not know that. But yes, 100%.
Yeah, he gave us a gem, really. Yeah.
Yes, he did. He really did.
But so we have Urban Legend currently. I believe it is okay, I don't have it off the back of my head here. Let's see here. A 5.6, like I said, the prime spot for a wrong term podcast episode right there. And 37% on Rotten Tomatoes. We love low tier shit now, you know? We really
do. We really do.
It actually did really, really well in the box office. It was a budget of $14 million and it made $72.5 million back. Which,
it was a commercial success. Yeah. Like, it made money.
Probably due to, you know, the sexy teens in it. You know, this was the kind of like the prime for CW sexy teens starring in horror movies. This comes 2 years after Scream, and a lot of the critics had torn apart because they considered it a Scream ripoff, or a blatant Scream ripoff. It was like, you know what? I might have seen it this time, and I might have noticed it. It doesn't bother me though.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like let's go without saying, yeah, sure. Is it a Scream ripoff? Yeah, whatever. I mean, it definitely came out during that time where it was that could have easily been said, and I understand that. But I don't know. Like, we got some names. We got some fucking names. We have Robert Englund. We have
100%.
Brad Dourif, even though he's only really in the beginning.
Brad Dourif, not credited at all in this movie.
Famously the voice of Chucky. And I remember finding that out, Jesus, I don't know how. It was years later when I watched it and realizing that was Chucky, or the voice of Chucky. And I remember thinking that was really cool.
Oh no, we're going to go through it. I'm going to go through the cameos.
Okay. Anyway, should we get going? Should we press play?
Okay, yeah, because we're burning daylight and the killer's on the loose and hot in our tail.
Yeah.
Wait. Before we get started, Courtney, what are some of your urban legends that you grew up with?
I think the Pop Rocks and the Coke one is a very, very famous one. And I don't know if it was because of this movie or not. I have a hard time remembering if this movie just heightened it, because I remember that one. And urban legends, like I have the list here of in the movie, the ones they kind of mention, or the ones that they kind of make into like a death even. There's a couple funny things that I remembered just based off of Tara Reid's character's radio show that she has that was making me laugh, like the people calling into it. Bloody Mary was a big one and it's referenced in this movie, but I remember playing Bloody Mary a lot. It never happened. I'm still waiting.
Yeah, maybe we'll make a dead air episode when we go through like the biggest, because I'm seeing there's tons of stuff out there.
That's a great question. How about you? I don't want to just say the ones that are in this movie, but the concept of this movie is incredible, and it's a bummer.
100%.
It wasn't executed maybe as we would like, but still, the concept I just love to death, that they just took all of these urban legends and were like, we're making a fucking horror movie, and it's just like. Well, I mean, we'll get to it. How about you, though? What about you besides? But I guess the Pop Rocks and Soda one was such a memory for me. Being like, you will die. You will die. Like,
no, I guess. I mean, like, I understand, like, the movie's not great, but I think there was some stuff in the production that maybe kind of inhibited it, because we'll get into it. But like, cast is pretty good. Acting's pretty good. I don't like some parts, but then that might have been maybe for the purpose of the story. The cameos are on point. There is a lot of cameos in this movie for it just being like a slasher. And this is, I feel like, I mean, I guess let's just do it. Like, all right, so we'll start off with Brad Dourif. We have Julian Richings, which wasn't he like one of the Wrong Turn guys? I can't remember, but if not, he plays a creepy dude in almost like everything. And if not, he is a creepy dude in the TV show Supernatural. He plays Death.
Yes.
Which is like, he does a great version. If he isn't a horror dude, like, he gives off horror vibes. But he did this movie before I think he did anything notable. So, like, that was just kind of a little precursor. So, like I said, Robert Englund, motherfucking Freddy. Daniel Harris, who from Halloween fame, when she did it as a little girl, I think she was in Halloween 4 and 5. Who else do we have here? Fucking John Neville, who plays the Dean, is motherfucking Baron Munchausen. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I love that fucking movie. And Baron Munchausen, like, I was like, why is this guy so familiar? I don't recognize him because he's so much older and he's done a bunch of shit. And we're just talking about the people on the sidelines.
I know. Sorry, I had to look up Julian real quick because I was like, I don't think he's a Wrong Turn guy, but you are correct. If he's not, he fucking should have been. He could have been motherfucking Three Finger. Or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
He's not. But
whatever the fuck their names are.
I like how his character is just Weird Janitor, though. That's his name. Right. Weird Janitor.
All right. So before we burn too much daylight, let's just get into it. He was in Dead Silence. I don't think he had anything to do in Dead Silence, and he was in the Saw movies. All right, we're gonna press play. We're pressing play. As we do, we're gonna have the movie as a point of reference. We're gonna love talking shit about this movie, but much like your mom or your dad or your stepdad or your sister, we're gonna talk shit about it, but doesn't mean we do not love it. So We have an all-star cast. Like I said, we haven't even got into the actual cast.
Yeah.
We have
these are just
Jared Leto, which is this is the only Jared Leto movie Courtney's gonna watch. She promised me. We have Alicia Witt as Natalie. Jared Leto's Paul, which I have the whole fucking thing about it. I hate his fucking character. Rebecca Gayheart playing Brenda. Michael Rosenbaum playing Parker. Loretta Devine playing Reese. Joshua Jackson playing Damon, Terry Reid playing Sasha, which is our main group of high schoolers. But we're going to start off the movie.
They are college.
Oh, college. You see, you almost forget.
Yeah, it's easy to forget. But these ones are college.
Synonymous. Yeah, like those things are so interchangeable for me sometimes, like if they're in high school or if they're in college.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this might need like a precursor episode where we just talk about urban legends. And we start off the movie with Natasha Grayson Wagner playing Michelle Mancini. And for a second, I was just like, why is this short, like, lived character have a first and last name? I was like, does she need one?
Yeah, well, we find out very soon that, like, well, she gets murdered. Oops. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, this movie is forever years old.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just going to stop doing math. This movie is old. 1990, like 26 years old, something like that.
Yeah.
You know? Older than some of your coworkers.
Yeah.
So Michelle Mancini's driving around on a dark night on a winding mountain road, and she's singing to herself, and she's going to come across a gas station, and we're going to come across our first urban legend.
By the way, though, when she is driving, I love how she passes like this beautifully lit gas station that's like, oh, this looks like a great gas station that I'm going to stop and maybe get some snacks. But no, she just drives by it, and then like fucking 5 minutes later, she's like, wait, I need gas. And then it's like, creepy gas station going to that one.
Also, if I'm on a road, it just looks like she's almost on a road trip or like a weekend road trip. Maybe she's going home for the weekend, and that's not really explained. But like she's running out of gas and she's hitting the low fuel sign. Like, how do you not pay attention? Like, I am constantly aware of how much gas I have in my car.
Oh, me too. Like, my anxiety goes through the roof when I get to be like a quarter tank. I'm like, I gotta get gas.
Yeah, like the fact that she hit the low fuel sign, and of course, luckily she comes across something, because if you're on a road trip, you know, going from city to city or town to town, like, you're lucky if you hit a gas station, like, just when you need it. We're gonna top off, guys.
But that's why I just... Yeah, but I just laugh at this movie because I was like, she was a minute away from that nice gas station, and then all of a sudden it was like, no, I'm low on gas. I have to go to this creepy one where Brad Dourif works.
Yeah. Oh man, Brad Dourif does such a good job, and it's just a bad circumstance based on bad communication.
She took a wrong turn. She took a fucking wrong turn right away. We should start making seconds. How long does it take for the characters to make wrong turns? Basically,
like, if you want to play the game, guys, you can take a shot. She made her first wrong turn right here.
Yeah.
And it only took 3 minutes into the movie.
Yeah.
So she stumbles across the creepy gas station because the nice gas station was too good for her. She runs across Brad Dourif, and he's filling up the tank. And he knocks on the window really, really harshly. And he's like, he said, need some gas? She's like, yeah, fill her up. And then he hands her MasterCard so he can go ring her up. But I would have loved it if he was just like, yeah, I'm not the gas station attendant. Like, pump your own fucking gas.
Yeah. Like, hey, I don't work here.
Yeah, torrential downpour. And then she's already very suspect about the whole thing. And I think, what is it going to take $16 to fill her Ford Explorer? And I'm assuming this is a brand new Ford Explorer. Yeah.
The times.
Yeah. Brad notices that there's something in the backseat of her car. He walks up to her and he says, the credit card company's on the phone and something's wrong with your card. And he obviously has the fake version of a MasterCard because it says really largely on the card, MasterCard.
This
is a prop card.
Okay, so Brad's character, he does have a stutter, he does look creepy, and so we're inclined to believe that this guy is bad. But in reality, he's trying to fucking help her.
No, I disagree. Because I'm that guy, you know? Like, I'm the guy that nobody, like, that everybody thinks is the creeper. I'm like, no. I'm the guy that's going to help you out.
That's what I mean. Like, he's trying to help her. I know he comes off as, like, you're led to believe that he is creepy, but he's legit, like, I think you need to come inside. Maybe he does it.
I'm just trying to stand up for Brad Dourif. And apparently this whole thing is brought to you by MasterCard because there's a giant MasterCard poster like on the inside of the door. Mancini walks into to the garage. She picks up the phone, notices that there's nobody on the end. He does grab her because he tries to let her know what's going on, but he just can't get the words out. And then she just reacts, making Michelle Mancini probably one of the VIPs for this fucking movie because she is a what would you call it? She is a great final girl for this first 5 minutes of the movie. She has it. She is not going to get taken down. She assaulted Brad. She got to her car. She broke down the window. She's got it.
But too bad for her.
She made a wrong turn. She made
a wrong fucking turn.
Right into the kill. She runs over Brad Dourif. She breaks the gas pump. And then Brad just screams, there's someone in your back seat. Great cold open.
Yeah. Okay, hands down, that is a fantastic cold open. I mean, she handled it well. You're right. I will give you that.
She handled the wrong situation well.
She did. She did all the things that you're supposed to do. I'm saying as a woman, if this were to happen, like you're like, all right, here's my fucking pepper spray. Like I gotta Brad Dourif could have been a little bit like, hey, I think there's. So he's just creepy as fuck, which is Brad Dourif.
So, yeah, 100%. Yeah, so I get it. Nobody's going to give Brad Dourif the time of day if he looks like that. So then she's crying, and then all of a sudden you realize that the killer is in their back seat, and the killer pulls up the axe. Michelle notices, she looks, and gets the axe straight to the neck, and then it goes right through the window. That's my only issue with this, is like, technically she's driving. They would have crashed. Yeah, that's a little weird.
Do you know, though, again, maybe it was because of this movie, or maybe it was just that, maybe it was, but I remember having friends being like, you got to check the back seat of your car before you get into it. And also, I was like 9, so I was like, what the fuck? Like, what do you mean? Like, I sit in the back seat.
I still check the back seat of my car.
Yeah, me 100%. Too. Oh, yeah. I don't know if that was just because urban legends, or just because that's a practical thing to do, or a realistic thing to do. But yeah.
Well, also as like a shit teenager, I also snuck in the backseat of cars and pulled that prank on people.
Yeah.
So yeah, check your backseat always.
Everyone check your backseat. But
so we're introduced to Tara Reid's character, Sasha, and we're just going to call all these characters by their actors, or by their real names, because, that way you know who we're talking about.
Yeah.
So Tara has she's
a radio host.
A radio host for, I guess, a sex show?
A sex show for college kids.
Yeah. And then we're introduced to our cast, and we got here Michael Rosenbaum playing Parker, giving us our first urban legend of the story about Stanley Hall and the massacre at Stanley Hall. And then everybody's running around. Jared Leto's in the background being pensive. He's just like, that's his whole thing. His whole thing is that he's just strutting around because he's always just on the clock doing journalism thing.
Yes. Oh my God. He's a journalist to the core. He's always out there for the story.
I just need coffee
annoying as fuck. Yeah. Annoying as fuck. And that's why it's like, this is so surprising that this is the movie that I can watch him in, Jared Leto. Nothing else.
I wondered if he did method acting for this.
I like to believe he's truly that much of an annoying person.
So Parker is telling the ladies, Natalie and Brenda, Rebecca and Alicia. Can we just call them Rebecca Gayheart and Red? Or Alicia? What do we do?
I'm just going to call Rebecca Gayheart. Rebecca's fine. And Alicia Witt.
So Parker's telling Alicia and Rebecca about the massacre at Stanley Hall and how one of the teachers went kind of nuts and then went to the dormitories and knocked on each door. And anybody who answered, he would slit their throats. And of course, they're doing little corrections on the vice versa. No, I really heard it this way. Or no, I really happened over here, because everybody has their version of the way the story goes, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the point of urban legend. It's like this version, there's this version, there's this version. Where did it ever start? Is it true? We don't know.
Right. Exactly.
Wait, real quick, sorry. There is a scene with Paul, aka Jared Leto, where when he leaves at this little room where they're hanging out, He says that he has, like, he's working for getting the student Pulitzer, which makes me laugh every fucking time I watch this movie. What is a student Pulitzer? What is he up to? God, his character's so annoying. Okay, that's it.
Yeah, he eventually, like, immediately they give you his drive. His drive is just to grab the story and write the best possible story as a college journalist.
College journalist.
All right, I guess. And then Alicia and Brenda come over to, I forget, I guess maybe this is Stanley Hall, but they decided to do the urban legend of Bloody Mary at Stanley Hall. And from what I remember is you're always doing Bloody Mary in a mirror, in a bathroom with the lights off.
Yes, that was my version of it as well.
Yeah, but then these ladies start doing it and they start hearing something. And then get really, really creeped out as they hear distant wailing, as the caption says.
Distant wailing. That's my favorite type of wailing.
Yeah, distant.
Is it
and
distant?
We get introduced. Yeah. And we get introduced to fucking Joshua Jack, fucking Pacey from fucking Dawson's Creek. Mm-hmm.
Man, we were just snatching up every single popular teen star.
Yeah, which I think this was Michael Rosenbaum's like second film. He wasn't like really a well-known actor at this point. Rebecca had done Jawbreaker before this, I think.
Yeah, and Alicia, she was in you already mentioned, she was in a fuck ton of shit. Like she...
Was she?
Oh, yeah, she was...
Oh, yeah, she was in fucking Dune.
Yeah, the original Dune. Yeah, she's a great actress. I don't mind her at all. Like, this character's a little bit of a wet blanket, but she's
100%.
She's okay, though. Her acting's fine.
So Alicia goes into her room, and we get introduced to her roommate, Daniel Harris, playing Tosh, which is just short for Natasha. Having a good time.
Having a good time.
I feel like it is an extravagant dorm room.
Yeah, I've always wondered, I'm like, they live in a library?
Well, Tasha's like, well, yeah, the dorm, yeah, 100%. The building's beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
The fucking building's fucking beautiful, but Tasha's side of the room is like done up to the fucking T. Like,
well, she's a goth.
She spent a lot of time on that room. I understand she spends all her time on the computer, but like she did a good job.
She
like,
did.
It looked like a lair. Like when you see her, like right there, I'm just like, oh. Yeah, real life horror.
In real life horror, basically, freshmen in college, your roommate just has sex all the time. So you just got to put your headphones on and like call it a day. Try to like just do your best.
But where the fuck do ladies not have the sock rule? Like, you know, if there's a sock on the doorknob, don't come in.
I get that from these two because we find out later that they knew each other in high school. So that's probably why they decided to maybe room together freshman year. Because they're like, hey, we already know each other. But to answer your question, if ladies have that rule, no. Because in my experience, we were always really, well, first of all, I always had my own room in college, which I'm grateful for. But we were always really respectful at like letting each other know. Like when, like, hey, I'm like, this person's going to be here tonight or whatever. So it was never, I don't know. It never really happened to me personally. Again, I had my own room in college, which I feel like is not, normal. I went to college in Europe, so I don't know.
Well, it didn't look like Natasha and Alicia liked each other, or Daniel Harris and Alicia liked each other, at least in that part. No, but real life horror, every time you see Alicia walk into the room and go to bed, never fucking brushes her teeth.
Gross.
It's fucking gross. 100%.
Where is your guys' bathroom? That is nasty.
Well, I guess it would be down the shared
down
bathroom,
the hall. I guess what I'm saying is I never had that freshman experience like that, where you shared the communal bathrooms and you had your dorm. Like I've definitely went to parties like back when I was visiting here in America when I was home from school, like to the classic American parties, whatever you want to say, college parties. But I don't know, that wasn't my experience, I guess.
All right, so then we get introduced to Robert Englund, who is our folklore professor, on brand for the movie. I would have loved taking that fucking class for sure.
Oh, I have a joke for this though. What fucking course is this? What college is this that you're taking? Like I mean, I get contemporary folklore, I understand, but like Urban Legends 101 course makes me laugh. Like, oh man, I'm late to Urban Legends 101 with Robert Englund. Gotta go, Freddy Krueger. Like,
I mean, isn't it weird that our teacher looks like Fred Krueger? But it's like, I understand that sometimes like English departments might make like an elective like this. There'd probably be an elective where you have to write. You have a writing course.
Correct, a script writing course of some sorts that you would be learning about this.
When I went to school, like one of my friends was taking, I think, an English class in like comic book writing or comic book stories, and I'm like, where the fuck was this class when I went to fucking school? So I audited that class, and I would go into that class and talk, because like I knew about all the fucking comics. And I'm like, these fucking people don't know how good they fucking got it. This is the easiest fucking class ever.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. But anyway, back to Urban Legends 101 with Freddy Krueger.
So Robert Englund's talking about the caller coming from inside the house, and basically how Rebecca's basically like, everybody has that version where like, oh no, I knew somebody that really happened to. Everybody has that version.
Mm-hmm.
You ask your friend, have some fun. Go ask your friends what Urban Legends they know, and who's gonna say that they have a friend that really happened to?
Yeah, it's always a friend of a friend, or it was my cousin's friend who went over here and was like, yeah, she totally died by drinking or eating Pop Rocks and drinking Pepsi. You're like,
And Rebecca Gayheart's kind of playing like the ditzy, kind of like obvious one for some reason. This is what kind of gets me, but it's a turn of character. Fun fact, Alicia Witt and Jared Leto were both hired because they were against the cast type. They weren't really what the production wanted for the movie, but they fought for them because they weren't the obvious choices. Which what you were saying earlier, which is kind of like a wet blanket. I'm like, I think that's kind of on purpose.
Yeah, I agree.
Robert Englund brought up Rebecca Gayheart up to the stage so they can do another urban legend. Which I'm like, wouldn't you have gone through all these on the first day of class? I'm just saying, like, all right, whatever. And then the Pop Rocks and the soda, which she won't do it because she heard that your stomachs will explode. And heard that Mikey from the cereal commercial, I think the Captain, was it Cinnamon Toast Crunch? I forgot which cereal it was. That Mikey died that way because he had Pop Rocks, because Mikey would eat anything, essentially. That was the whole purpose of the commercial.
Mm-hmm. And then we have Pacey. I think I'm just going to call him Pacey. But Josh,
call him Pacey.
Josh Projections, but aka Pacey. He's like, I'll do it. And I have such a vivid memory of him eating the Pop Rocks and drinking the soda and basically faking his own death, because he does it great.
Like he's an actor.
Well, correct. This is his job. But I just like him and his dumb bleached hair.
Yeah, I think, like, what did you just bleach your hair for the movie because you didn't want to look like the guy from Dawson's Creek?
He didn't want to look like Pacey. He had to be someone else.
Yeah. So he's doing a great bit of stage performance as he's faking his own death. It is kind of gross because he's just spitting all over. Yeah. Everybody gets freaked the fuck out. So I want to know if somebody actually called 911 though, because
no one did. Issue. They were like, "Oh my god, he's dying right in front of us." Someone, anything? No one.
Yeah.
And even the professor was like, "Yeah, whatever." So clearly, it was a bit.
So then they're walking out of class and they're realizing there's a little bit of a kerfuffle as Reese, Loretta Devine, who's been in it. I think Loretta Devine has like something like a ridiculous amount of credits. 180 credits. She's been in a lot of productions. Good for her. But she played a security guard, Reese, and along with the dean, they start collecting all the newspapers because they just heard about Michelle Mancini has died, and they're on the look for the gas station attendant who might have been the last person who saw her. And fucking Jared Leto, he's just like,
God damn him.
He's just like, yeah, I wrote the story, and he's like, you can't do this. You can't take all the newspapers away.
And you think from a fucking prestigious actor as he as so claimed to be. I know this is like late 90s. I can't really judge him too hard right here, but I don't know. I guess you're correct with like one note, and he's just like, dare I say, insufferable. This character is insufferable. It really is. Also note, though, that apparently this is the safest college in the country. I don't know if you caught that. Okay, so like the security guard, the cop lady, she does say that like as they're tearing away all the newspapers because they're like, you can't, which is manipulation basically. Like you're gonna try to like deprive these students of what the fuck is actually going on their campus. Which I understand where I guess where Jared Leto's character comes in, but then the security guard, she literally says this is the safest campus in the country.
All right. Well, I mean, like, yeah, I guess for the purposes of the movie, be like, what if all these murders happen at the safest?
Yeah, right. But now all of a sudden these murders are happening at the safest college in the not the world. I keep on saying the world, but no.
But it's but I guess it's because like Jared Leto's only concerned that his story is getting, or they're taking all the newspapers away because then he doesn't have a writing credit because he wants to get this fucking college writing Pulitzer. So it's less about like reporting. Yeah, it's more about selfish endeavors than telling the truth.
Correct.
It seems with him. So I'm just like, oh, you just want to write the story. You don't give a fuck about this fucking
exactly.
girl.
Like you're not even being a brave journalist, as they would say, like people who actually go into like where wars are and shit to like to cover, to let people know like the truth that's happening. He's just like, well, I'm trying to get my Pulitzer, and I think this will be enough of fucking Paul.
Like yeah, but he's fucking acting like, all right, whatever. Yeah, well, he's only gonna get more fucking annoying as the fucking story goes.
Ugh. I think it's just made worse because it's also Jared Leto, and I'm just not a fan of his face. You know what I think was the turning point? I know we're going to move forward. There's not a lot going on in the movie so far. But the turning point with me and Jared Leto was I cannot stand 30
personal relationship with Jared Leto.
And I do not. So, but was 30 Seconds to Mars. Do you like, I do not like that band. That's where he lost you? Yeah.
I've never heard it.
No, that's his band.
No. I know what the band is.
Oh, okay. I forgot that. It's not a movie. That's his fucking band. Which I don't even know if he does it anymore. But
oh no, I think they toured like last year. Yeah.
Did they?
So then Pacey's making some really crude joke and really insensitive joke about Michelle Mancini, and he's just like, I'll miss her, but she always gave great head, which is a little bit of an asshole touch.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Alicia walks over to her dorm room and having a little bit of a confrontation with Tosh, and we could see that they do not like each other. Or at least Tosh doesn't like anybody because
she's goth. I don't know.
No, angry goth chick, yeah.
She's an angry goth chick. Like, if you're not goth, she doesn't want to hang out with you. I think that's her whole vibe.
Yeah, and even though Alicia's being really nice to her, noticing that her pills have rolled over to her side of the room, giving her lithium back. It's a bit of a period piece because they have landlines, and you can only use your internet with the landline.
Yes.
This Wi-Fi shit, you guys know. Yeah,
remember
100%.
that
so
sound?
If you were online, you could not use the phone unless you had two lines.
And when you would dial in, like the fucking sound it would make when you would dial into the internet. Oh man!
I guess she's got like a landline voice machine because you have to dial out to get your messages, and she doesn't have any messages because I guess Alicia doesn't have any friends. Because we just find out that her and Michelle were fucking friends, and Michelle just fucking passed away. R.I.P. So
there we go. So we're bringing that all together. Those three did go to high school together. So dead girl, the roommate, and then also Alicia.
But who takes their fucking yearbook, other than for the purposes of this movie, to fucking college?
Oh, 100%. Those are in my parents' basement. I have not opened them.
Yeah. So in walks Pacey, and he's just like, "How you doing, Red?" He's just like, "Let's talk about it. I can tell that you're a little bit disturbed about the things that went on today." I'm paraphrasing, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Better that you do. So no one wants to listen to him.
So then he just wants to like, let's just go out and just have a little bit of conversation.
Come talk to me in the forest.
Yeah. Yeah, because we can't talk in your room. We have to talk in my car.
No, we have to go in my car, and we have to drive to basically like a makeout point-ish area.
Yeah. And here's this soda that's obviously a beer. Or it's supposed to be a beer, I guess. Like, here, let me serve you a drink of soda. That was weird.
This flat, warm, possibly beer I've had in my car for days. Here you go.
Yeah. Yeah. And, he's being a little bit of a fool, but she's liking it. His car won't start unless you do 3 things to it at once. I've had that car.
Yeah. I've known that guy with that car.
Yeah. So he's like, "Oh, let's have a talk, but don't mind me that I take you to make out point, because that's not weird. Let's just talk away from everybody else in a secluded spot in the dark."
Not weird. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And then he tries to relate to her on a personal level, and just being like, "I lost my girlfriend," basically just using it to get laid.
Yeah. But they're college kids. I don't know. I'm not really too upset about Pacey being just trying to get laid.
I never watched Dawson's Creek, so I don't know if this is
my mom watched it. And funny enough, she really liked the Pacey character, but I didn't watch it. I don't know the reference other than that's his character's name.
So that's his whole shtick here. Oh, also they play the theme song for Dawson's Creek as he turns on the car. It's a little fucking dig to the character, right? To the actor. So he's going on. He's just like, after my girlfriend died, I just realized I had so much love to give. I just wanted to share all this love that got building inside me.
There's so much love inside me in this area down here.
Down here. And Alicia's not having it. She's just like, she just sees right fucking through him. And is not taking any shit. He just hits him right fucking away. And he's just like, "I'm just trying to help you," which is really fucking narcissistic way to be like, "No, I'm not. I don't want sex. I'm trying to help you in your time of need.
Yeah, your friend died. I'm trying to help you. Be grateful for me."
So sympathy for Pacey, we do that.
You know what? Actually, I hate Pacey now. Hate the character.
Yeah. I mean, it was pretty scummy. It is
scummy. Yeah.
But here we come across our second, third? I don't even know. We're actually we're inundated with urban legends in this movie right now.
Well, second kill, because the only kill we have so far is Dead Girl in the beginning, and now second one here, what's the idea of this urban legend though? With hearing the urban legend is the footsteps on, or not the footsteps, but hearing on the roof of the car.
The scratching on the roof of the car.
Yes.
It's particularly the scratching on the roof of the car. The boyfriend at Lover's Lane goes out to take a leak, doesn't come back. She starts hearing scratching on the roof of the car, and then not realizing that it's her boyfriend being hung from a tree on top of the car.
All right. There we go. Thank you for...
That is the urban legend.
That is what it was. Yeah. All in that. Yeah, but that's what happens to good old Pacey right here, though, that's exactly what happens, is he gets hung from a tree. And
this is the second time we see the killer, and we see the costume. But this killer is efficient.
Absolutely, which I love.
Oh, yeah. Super, super. Then all of a sudden... Elise starts hearing pounding on top of the roof. She's trying to turn the car on. It's getting a little tense. She starts hearing the scratches, and then we see Pacey being hung from the roof, and he's trying, and he's got no body strength. I mean, maybe somebody could have lifted themselves up if you were so inclined, if your life really depended on it. But not realizing that the rope is actually tied to the car, that would have annihilated him. For some reason, her car gets caught in a ditch, just hanging Pacey at the right distance. But he really would have gone through the tree and, still would have been murdered horribly.
Yeah.
But it is really, really a good setup, as Alicia actually kills Pacey and not the killer.
I like that.
No, that's great. Yeah, she backs up her car, running into the tree, letting Pacey down, and he falls through the glass, freaking her out. Knowing that Pacey is dead and now her life is on the line, and she runs. Fun fact about the costume: you hate the costume. Costume's not great. It lacks a little bit. It's not horrible, but it's not great.
Okay. I guess You go.
Originally, this movie was supposed to take place during winter break, or in a winter setting, or during Christmas or something, or at least during winter, in a snow setting. So the snowstorm was supposed to have a really big deal as part of the movie. So the
parka makes more sense in that.
The parka is, exactly. But when it didn't snow, they weren't going to pay for snow, so they were just like, all right, cool.
Killer's got a parka.
Yeah. Killer's got a parka and an axe, and that's it.
I guess hate's a strong word. It's not my favorite, considering I love, again, the concept of this horror movie and the idea that and all these fun things put together into one urban legend, into one killer, and the killer attempting all these urban legends, da-da-da-da. Therefore, but I don't know what I'm saying is I don't know what would be a better costume. You know what I mean?
It doesn't really stick with you very much.
Right. But just to jump back into it is we think that Pacey's playing a prank, even though we as the audience has seen his death being hung over the car. Pacey's a prankster. We already saw it when he tried to prank the whole class with the Pop Rocks and Coke. Or Pop Rocks and Pepsi, according to this movie.
Yeah, you're right. But considering we didn't get a whole lot of Pacey beforehand, I guess we already saw him being murdered. We don't believe it, and we know what's going on. So then Alicia explains what happened to Parker, and Parker's being like, oh yeah, that's the classic story of the boyfriend being hung from the tree. He's just like, yeah, Pacey's just fucking pulling a prank on you. He just planned the whole fucking thing. He's probably for some reason, he's just out with his boys on a bachelorette or a bachelor weekend.
A snowboarding weekend or something is what they talk about, right? But to quickly go back to when we were talking about the killer's costume, it's just a parka. I will say, as a person from Minnesota, a person from very, very cold weather who was worn a parka for years, I still to this day, whenever I wear a parka, I just like to pretend that I'm the killer from Urban Legend. That's it. That was my joke. Dead air.
So we do have a little bit of a precursor with the setup where Tosh is online all the time, just on forums. I just wanted to point that out because it's a little bit of foreshadowing for later. So the way she turns around when she just reacts to Alicia, just like what? What do you want?
Get out of here! It's my room too.
So lithium is used to treat bipolar disorder. So you could see that. Oh, well, I guess you could sort of see that with her a little bit.
Okay, but she's taking her medication, which is the hardest part. There you go. She's doing it.
And then we have Alicia looking up, because this was before Google, so you still have to go to the library.
God, here's our favorite fucking thing, though. This is our I'm sorry. Books that are just there, ready, available. And because this happened in Leprechaun, this happened in, what was the other one that we watched? Was it Idle Hands? No, it wasn't.
I think it was both Leprechauns, maybe.
No, it was Leprechaun. It was because Leprechaun, he had a book. Leprechaun 3, he has this disc, the CD disc, ready to go.
But also, in Leprechaun 1, he had the book of coins, of rare coins ready to go.
Book of rare coins. Yeah. Now Alicia goes to the library and she finds the Encyclopedia of Urban Legends.
Well, I'm like, that's a really big book for urban legend. That's a giant fucking book. That's a lot of stories.
But I want a library of all of these fucking books.
It looks like the book you pick up at the $10 rack at Barnes & Noble's.
Yes. Sure. And the first page she flips to is one of the urban legends with what is it? You should have turned the light on.
Oh, okay. It's a little bit of foreshadowing. Mm-hmm. And then she sees the one about the boyfriend being hung from the tree as the date's inside the car. And then the gang high beam initiation, which I've heard about that one.
Yes.
And sometimes I'm a little bit hesitant, but I see a lot of people driving without their fucking with their lights on all the time. And it's a little, it's a little
bit. It's just dangerous. That's the thing. There that's the thing. So if you do ever it's almost common courtesy to give a little flash.
But she's also like investigating like the disappearance of Pacey, because she's just like, well, is this true? Like, what if Pacey have done this? And then she goes to the back little note card and looks. She sees this character named Damian Brooks had checked out the book not too long ago. So
Right, which is
just like, yeah,
Pacey.
She's like, maybe it was an elaborate, really giving her like benefit. We know, as the characters, we know that he's fucking dead, but yeah, I guess it's just giving her second thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
And then we cut to Daniel Harris, who's just in a chat room.
Chat rooms, remember?
Goth for goth chat rooms, because she's ready to hook up. I guess maybe it's a closed server. So, like, it's only, like, on the campus. Campuses were, like, essentially, like, in this world, it looks like it's a small city right here. So she's, for some reason, that's a little weird, though, because she asks the guy what he's into, and he's like, lithium. She's like, oh, you're into medication?
I know, right? You guys, it's like, not hardcore drugs. Like,
you're into bipolar disorder?
Yeah, I'm like, okay.
That's weird. And then she gets ready for her date. This is actually a really, really great setup. The movie Urban Legend is more memorable than the killer itself.
Yes.
Because all we have here is a jacket and the parka around the, just like the fur around the edge of the hood.
Because, granted, you cannot see the person's face, but when you have a parka on like that, that's why it's just so easy. So that's why whenever I wear a parka, I'm just like, yeah, this is just my killer from Urban Legend outfit. Like,
well, I'm in costume. I'm cosplay right now.
I'm a cosplay right now. As what? Okay, killer from Urban Legend. Gonna go to Comic-Con this year as it.
So we cut to. I feel like if this isn't an Urban Legend, it should be soon. You don't know who you're talking to online.
Correct.
100%. So Daniel Harris asks where this dude is at, and then responds with, in yours. And that is scary as fuck.
Yeah.
She tussles with the killer.
But then at the same time, we have Alicia, I don't know if you're in this part, but she walks back into her dorm, and she does think that she's just having sex, which, in her defense, I would probably be like, my roomie's having sex. Let me just onto my side of the room and just let her have her space. But I honestly wouldn't have been in the room. If I would have went in there and been like, oh, they're having sex, I would have left.
Well, much like with the setup with Pacey where he's doing all the pranks, they do this with Alicia, where apparently with Tosh, where she's just constantly having sex and Alicia's constantly walking in the room. And here's my real life horror. Just she goes into the room, doesn't turn on the lights, goes straight to bed, doesn't fucking brush her teeth.
There you go. There you are again. You're like, what the fuck?
And unfortunately, Daniel Harris is getting choked to death. I thought she was getting cut up at first, but no, what happens afterwards? No, she's just getting strangled. And they do the great sound effects, a little ASMR, where you just basically, it sounds like
she's having sex. Exactly. So you're like, oh, okay, fair enough. But then she wakes up in the fucking morning. How terrifying would that be? You looked like...
Oh, 100%. Like, oh, it's bad. Like, you would have woken up the next day and your roommate would have been murdered. That's traumatizing.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, 5 feet from you.
5 feet from you. Pool of blood on her goth side of the room.
Nice. I like that. I gotta use that for something.
It's the goth side of the room.
Yeah. And immediately she notices that Tosh isn't on the computer or not smoking cigarettes. Also, Tosh smokes cigarettes inside the fucking room. That alone should have gotten her a transfer out. Like, my roommate smokes cigarettes. I don't want to fucking live in this room.
Yeah.
And then she uncovers the blanket, and Tosh is all fucking bloodied up, looking up. Doesn't look really dead, though. And looks like she slit her wrists. And written on the wall behind Alicia is, aren't you glad they didn't turn on the lights? Which I guess is another urban legend about college kids hooking up and somebody getting murdered on set. I've never heard that one before.
I didn't hear about that one until this. There was a good joke here. You talked about her not really looking dead. I mean, it's insensitive for sure. A person has just died, allegedly committed suicide in this circumstance. But there's two girls that are like, you better check her pulse because she always looked like that for years because she's so pale because she's goth.
It's like, but all these kids are kind of fucked up. because they are always making fun of the victims.
I know. I was like, you guys, someone just got fucking murdered.
You guys are fucking assholes.
Like, this school sucks. I hate it here.
Yeah. So, Alicia, who is... What is the character's name again? I already forgot.
Her actual character name is Natalie.
Oh, yeah. Alicia, who plays Natalie, is talking to Baron Munchausen and Loretta Devine, and they're basically playing it off like, well, you don't know that she got murdered because you never actually saw anybody, and that's fair. Mm-hmm. So they're making Alicia look like, maybe Alicia, you're seeing a lot of shit, and maybe your roommate just committed suicide and you didn't see anybody. And
they're just gaslighting the shit out of her.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. It's a decent setup. I could think they could have played it up a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because they don't really go anywhere with it. Because so much other shit happens in the fucking movie. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was definitely a good setup. The movie has good notes.
Yes.
The movie has, good setups. Like, this isn't a fairly bad movie. It is a decent watch. It is a fun movie to watch. Fun fact, a lot of the violence is edited out for theatrical. I don't know why, actually. I just heard they edited out a lot of the violence in the movie, so it's cut very quickly. But you can sort of see that in a lot of the death scenes, they edited very, very quickly. Unlike other death scenes in other movies where the killing kind of happens kind of slowly, and you feel like the intensity of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which just sucks because, like, maybe if they would have kept it in, maybe would have done that. You'll notice it in some other ones. I'll point it out.
I guess I didn't even realize that. I was like, oh, is it really kind of edited down? But
well, like Michelle Mancini, like, head being cut off, like, that's just the glass of the window. That's unfortunate. Like, it's nothing.
Yeah.
You'll see it. So then we cut to fucking Jared Leto again. And he just wants to find out about Alicia and Michelle Mancini because I found this. I contacted her high school. He's doing his fucking due diligence. He's trying to get the fucking scoop, and he finds a picture of them from their yearbook. And it turns out Alicia was your friend, and you didn't mention it? What's up with that, dog?
God, that's so fucking annoying. If I were her, I'd be like, maybe I don't want to talk about it, Jared Leto. Fuck off. Like,
fair.
Like, he's just up into everyone's fucking business.
So he realizes he's really, really fucking upset her. And
But the point we're making for the plot of this movie is that, yes, Natalie went to school with the girl murdered at the beginning and then also roommate just murdered. And we have a conundrum here.
Well, she's just trying to let people know that she was murdered, but everybody is just like, no, she committed suicide. And he's trying to let her in on what she thinks is going on, that urban legends are being used by a serial killer. Mm-hmm. And then we get the classic line from the trailer, just like, well, urban legend serial killer? Well, it's a little bit of a stretch. And basically she's trying to convince anybody, and apparently Jared Leto is the only one that'll listen because that's his fucking job.
Also, like, in this scene right here, they do note to, like, there is a massacre bash coming up.
Because even though they say that the Stanley Hall massacre was an urban legend, apparently they still hold a party every year in remembrance of that, which is a little fucking morbid.
The massacre bash.
On
top of someone just recently being murdered. And then we have a possible suicide. But we are going to go forth with this massacre bash.
And weirdly enough, like, wouldn't Alicia have gotten, like, straight A's?
You think?
In that urban legend where, like, if your roommate dies, then you get straight A's.
Well, in true horror fashion, like the goody-goody straight A virgin or whatever she lives. Is that what you mean?
I hate this part right here. Yeah, well, like, wait 1 second real quick, but I hate this part right here. They go to find out if the Stanley Hall massacre really, really happened. They go into the school archives or whatever, and they can't find the year that presumably the massacre would have taken place. Mm-hmm. And they come across the janitor, and Jared Leto doesn't even say hi or anything. He just says, "Hey, how long have you been here?" I'm just like, dude, no fucking tact. Like, this is why I'm upset about the fucking character.
Yeah,
he doesn't know how to talk to people.
Exactly, I agree with you. It's the entitlement that he carries with him.
Hey, how long have you been here? person that I just said hi to.
Yeah.
Or like person that I didn't even fucking acknowledge a second ago. Go fuck yourself.
Hey,
I'm
guy.
Sorry. We're really
yeah, like, hey, guy, it looks like you probably work here, maybe. So how long you been here? Like, hey, he's
Dude,
a person.
He didn't even say that. He just said, how long have you been here?
How long have you been here? Like, if I were that janitor, I would just, like, thrown the mop at him.
I'm like, excuse me? Anytime somebody comes up to me at work and just starts asking things randomly, I always stop to say, hi, how are you? And then it realizes that they just asked me a question without acknowledging me as a fucking person.
Good, and I'm glad you do that, because I do that shit too. And
then they realize, like, oh yeah, hi, how are you? I'm well. And then I go on not to acknowledge them as a person, as do not look at them in the fucking face. Sorry. I just had a little bit of a moment there.
No, you're allowed to, because I can imagine.
Do not fucking bark fucking questions at me, please.
God.
Yeah. So they're on the fucking... I do like... I kind of missed this the first time around where Alicia is sort of just trying to do her investigation on everything that sort of happened around the fucking campus. But I feel like it falls to the wayside.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. But Jared Leto just kind of comes in and just chews up the scene poorly.
Ruins it. He ruins this movie.
Oh, yeah. So sorry. After my little rant, guys, before my little rant, Jared Leto and Alicia were asking the janitor.
Yeah.
Properly titled character janitor. For the purpose of this movie.
Or if you're on Wikipedia, he's weird janitor.
Oh, thank you. And then they come across, then all the janitor says is like, talk to Wexler. So they have to go talk to their talk to Wexler. So they have to go talk to their urban legends professor. I don't know, Robert with Fred Krueger Wexler. Oh no, his name is William Wexler because he's a fucking villain. He's a comic book character.
Just real quick, and we're going to move forward. I wish that the janitor just would have said, I don't know, man. I just work here. That's it.
Yeah, perfect. And then they would have been like, maybe we should go talk to Wexler. They would have ended up here regardless.
But I feel like Weird Janitor had a little bit more of a fucking bark right back at him. Like, I don't know, man. Like, leave me alone.
Fair. Yeah. Like anytime you hear that disgruntled janitor in a movie, be like, I fucking pick up after you snot-nosed kids all the fucking time. I hate you guys. Yeah, so they break into Wexler's fucking room with a credit card in the lock, which can work every once in a while.
Yeah.
If the lock is turned a certain way, it would definitely
probably
work.
not these
days.
The
latch is turned a certain way, yeah. So then they come across his room, and every time Jared Leto's investigating the way Jared Leto investigates, Alicia can't help but think he's cute and flirts with him for some reason. I don't see it.
Me either.
You could have been a better Alicia, but whatever. And they find a parka and an axe for some reason.
Oh my god, he's got a parka. That must be it.
And
it was him.
They do this movie, every other character has a parka. So I'm just like...
No, I was going to say that's why the parka's such a hard sell, where you're like, okay, everyone's got a fucking parka. Like, we can't just be narrowing it down to like, oh, this guy's got a parka. Suspicious.
Oh no, they do the red herring parka like 4 times.
Yeah, I know. And I love it. Whose parka is this now? Oh, that's just Jared Leto's parka? Oh, okay, cool. Whose parka? Like
So then they get caught because they are bad at sleuthing, even though it's fucking Jared Leto's job. And then they want to know why he has a fucking parka and an axe, and Fred Krueger is just basically like, well, I use it in my fucking prop class, but it is not a prop axe. But, a real prop for the purposes of an urban legend class, I guess, for effect, sure. Then they're talking to Baron Munchausen, and there is a I wonder if they put the painting of a naval ship in the background for the whole Baron Munchausen thing. I wonder if that was
I hope so.
But, so Baron Munchausen pulls out Alicia's records and realizes, we got a criminal record, reckless endangerment. Had we known, we never would have let you inside this fucking school because we are the safest school in the United States of America, obviously.
Obviously.
Yeah. And then Baron Munchausen goes,
you didn't
know? Baron Munchausen goes on to tell Jared Leto that he is fired, but he's like, you can't do that because you're not the editor. And he's like, well, I just spoke with the editor, and you're fired. And now Jared Leto's real fucking peeved because
my favorite part of the movie when Jared Leto gets fired
is out the fucking. His career is down the drains because he doesn't have a body of work to fall back on.
He will never be a journalist.
I'm sure he could have been a journalist. I'm sure it would have been fine. I'm sure he could have been fine.
I'm sure he went on to do some real shady shit.
Yeah. Well, see, this is weird though because he starts asking her all these questions. He's really trying to dig because like he just got fired. Fair enough. He's a little upset, and then he just walks away.
Yeah.
He asked her all these questions because he wants to know, and he walks away. I'm like,
yeah, like, well, okay.
Yeah, I guess I don't.
If I were her, I'd be like, well, I guess he doesn't want to talk to me anymore.
He's like, I want to know what's going on. What's with your record? What's with Michelle Mancini? What the fuck is going on? I just got fired, and then he walks away. I'm like, oh.
Bye, Jared Leto. He's upset.
The fuck was that about? Yeah.
What's that about? Okay.
So Alicia goes on. She needs to.
Alicia goes to the pool to check on Rebecca.
I guess she knew Rebecca was here the entire time. I guess it's 3:00 and she knows Rebecca's at the fucking pool. But here we get our
at 3:00 always.
We get our second Parker red herring.
God, this parka is my favorite.
So like I'm like what were the chances that like you showed up right when the killer showed up?
Exactly. So basically this scene is just Rebecca is doing her laps in the pool because she's a swimmer, and then dude in parka just walks in, and Alicia's like, oh my god, I see you out, trying to help her, bang on the glass, like is being fucking dramatic, takes a chair, tries to break it, only to realize the lady in the parka is like her swim instructor.
Yeah, 100%. Because you're wearing a parka because you got a swimsuit underneath because it's just easier that way when you show up to the gym wearing your gym clothes.
Yeah, exactly. You're just like, they're like, well, this chick up there is losing her fucking mind. Just broke this goddamn window with a chair because she was like, so sorry, I thought you were being murdered.
Well, that too, I'm like, they kind of left out the scene where Alicia gets expelled because you just broke a fucking window on campus after just fucking breaking into your professor's classroom. Like, there's a whole fucking thing here. We're like, that's it. 3 strikes, you're fucking out, son.
Yeah, I'll be like, you gotta get out of here now. There's too much bad shit happening around you, centering around you. Like, what's happening? You just
broke into a professor's room an hour ago. Now you broke a window.
And now you're breaking this window.
An expensive window. That is a large window. All right. So
it is a large window.
Rebecca Gayheart is talking to Elise and be like, what's up with you? Let's rap. And then she's like, I knew Michelle Mancini. We were friends in high school, and we did some stupid shit when we were younger. So she proceeds to tell her that her and Michelle Mancini had basically done the high beam gang initiation on some unsuspecting local, unfortunately. And it got a little bit out of hand. And they ran the guy off the road and unfortunately killed him. They didn't kill him. He got, massacred. In a second, you're going to see his corpse, and it looks
you see his... I mean, the car flips over, and then you see... Yeah, and it's bad. It's bad.
I think you see his teeth,
You do kind of look like it. I don't know if that's just the lighting.
It's the lighting, yeah. I think they put the exposure up so you can't see his face, but it looks like his face got peeled off for a second. And the way they explained it says that they got probation or something. Like, that's all they got. And I'm like, no, they should have got a manslaughter. Yeah. They should be in jail.
Yeah. I mean, they were under 18 at the time because they were saying they're in high school, so I'm just guessing that they're 17. So... But probation seems light.
Oh, 100%.
It seems very light.
Yeah. For vehicular manslaughter, was it a murder 2 or something like that? I don't know. I don't know law. But yeah.
It's just, moving forward, the whole point of this is, Alicia's basically being like, yes, this is happening. The urban legends are being acted out. People are being murdered. And it's probably because I did this really horrible thing last year.
Well, that is a bit of a coincidence where, they did an urban legend. Now all of a sudden it's coming back to haunt her. And that's fair. There could have been a whole thing where, this was all in her head. You know? But yeah, manslaughter is defined as the crime of killing a human being without malice or forethought or otherwise the circumstances not amounting to a murder. So kind of like an accident, right? And it was an accident, but it was still their kind of fault.
Yeah. I just think more than probation. They should have gotten more
100%.
than probation for that. But, and again, I'm just going off of like, this is probably like a year because they're roughly freshmen in college and this was like last year. So like their senior year in high school, this all happened.
And we're back. And then we get this really wonderful look where the janitor comes from behind the hall and he's just looking at Jared Leto very longingly and realizes that he left him the newspaper from 1973 of William Wexler being the sole survivor of the Stanley Hall Massacre.
Massacre.
Which, I mean, that'd be pretty. Hey, look, April 24th. It's not far from when we recorded this.
No.
And then the janitor just like, yeah, I did that, and he walks away. And then we cut to Baron Munchausen at his nice little Mercedes, and a nice little jump scare where him looking into the back seat as he should to see if anybody's back there. But he keeps his car clean, and Loretta Devine just jumps up from behind him and gives him a little jump scare. So Loretta asks him, as a responsible adult, Loretta, a security officer, Reese, says that, hey, maybe we should hire a couple of security guards this weekend because some weird shit's going down. And he's like, no, don't do anything without my fucking say-so. Business as usual. Don't even call the fucking cops.
Because we are the safest university in the United States. Also, there's one security guard at this school, and it's Loretta.
I mean, she's doing a great job because it is the safest college
she is.
in all of the United States.
Bless her. Jesus Christ. Yeah. It's only her.
So, like I said, we were led to believe it was one urban legend, but it's another urban legend where there's somebody underneath your car and it's going to slit your Achilles tendon.
Oh God, that hurts my soul. Even watching it every single time. Dude gets it.
Yeah, it is a good death scene. Yeah. Because this one I don't believe was edited, but it doesn't need to be because everything happens fairly quickly. It is a good setup.
I love it. And yeah, like the slashing your Achilles heels and then putting the cart into out of park and just rolled over. What do they call them on the tires?
They're like wrong way spikes or something like that, or something.
Yeah, I think that might be my favorite death. It goes next to the one that's going to happen up shortly because we get to this really fun party right after this one.
It is a good setup, and so in a little bit of animal abuse, we have Parker Rosenbaum feeding his dog beer. Please don't feed your dog beer.
Don't do that.
I don't know what kind of dog this is, but I love the look of it.
Like looks like a Benji.
And then I think they're playing Roller Coaster on the speakers. And then this guy walks up to Tara Reid, telling him that, I guess it's the urban legend where the screams on this album are real screams of a woman being murdered lifted off the 911 tape.
Yeah. Do you remember the urban legend? But the legend of like you could see someone being hung in the original Wizard of Oz. It was in the original Wizard of Oz, you could see one of like, I don't remember what the actual urban legend was, if it was someone that worked on the film or either behind the scenes or an extra, but hung themselves and you could see it. Like a bit of like the shadow of a person hanging themselves in the original Wizard of Oz. I believe like when they meet like the Tin Man.
I did hear about that.
Yeah. Yeah. We before we started recording, we were talking for like a whole ass hour. But back to this party scene. Jared Leto fucking shows up with the goddamn newspaper clipping that the janitor gave him and tries to basically plead with Alicia. Yeah, they're making out. Like, and then right as they start making out, Rebecca walks in. And as you know, like Rebecca kind of does like this little thing for Jared Leto. Everyone has a little thing for Jared Leto because he's so cute. Yuck. God, I would have ran far away from this dude when I was in college. But anyway, yeah, Rebecca sees them making out and is immediately really disappointed because she liked Jared Leto and she now feels betrayed by Alicia.
Which is weird because, I mean, she only talks to him like a couple fucking seconds throughout the entire movie. So this whole like...
In the beginning, that's it. When she just like says, like, oh, he's really cute. Like, that's all she ever says. It's not like there was ever really an established crush.
Yeah, like she should have been all over him.
I feel like.
So then we cut to Loretta doing her rounds, carrying her, I guess, her 9mm, and then she comes across the janitor, telling the janitor, the man who cleans up after everybody. Apparently, there's also only one janitor at this entire fucking campus.
Yeah.
That
one security guard, one janitor.
That the building is closed after 10. He's the fucking janitor. He's
the ma'am.
He's supposed to be there.
You suck at security.
And then,
ma'am, he's allowed to be there. He's cleaning.
I mean, I guess you sort of get this lead where maybe the janitor is the killer. Because she walks around the corner and then realizes she walks into a giant puddle of blood in William Wexler, Freddy Krueger's office right here.
Was there a little like Freddy Krueger doll amongst his things by chance? Or
there should have been something,
maybe
or a claw or something. But there's so much stuff in this room, I think you might have missed it.
Yeah. I would say again with the slice to the Achilles heels, it hurts my soul because. Well, seeing it just goes, oh, it makes me cringe every time. But at least with Rosenbaum. How's his last name? Rosenbaum. Yeah, Michael Rosenbaum, Parker, or whatever. His death, I don't know. I think it is my favorite
this was when I was talking about, like, that's the one I was going to mention that, like, that looks, I feel like I saw a longer version of that at some point, but, like, that looked heavily edited because it is on par with, I don't know, a bad music video or something like that. Like, it's just flashes. But we're going to get to it in a second. Rosenbaum is being a fucking... Parker Rosenbaum is being a fucking jerk. And...
Parker Rosenbaum, new name.
Jared Leto is trying to stop the party because there's a killer on the loose. But Parker is just being like, look, it's all urban legends. You guys are just fucking full of fucking hot air and you guys are just worrying about fucking nothing. And then Tara Reid just like, you're a fucking asshole. But I love you and I'm going to go do my radio show. And she goes off.
Her sex radio show?
Which, fun fact... 555-01-69.
Woo! Really? There was a 69 in it.
I'm sure that wasn't not on purpose.
Oh no, not at all.
Yeah, which again, the efficiency of this killer, because a lot of people are going to get done in right now, and there's just a lot of zip-zopping all around campus.
How?
Yeah, how? Yeah, I'm like,
how do they do it?
I mean, do we want to give it away? Like, the movie's 26 years old. Like,
not quite yet, even though, but it's.
Oh man, I think I saw it right there. Oh, poor dog. Rosenbaum picks up the phone and realizes we have a little bit of a scary movie. Sorry, a scream moment right here.
Scream.
This is a total like scream moment, which is fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Because Damon's allegedly calling him.
Allegedly, Pacey's calling him from inside the house, so he just thinks Pacey's messing with him, and then realizes that's what the urban legend is. The killer's gonna pull a nice 1-2 on him and says that no, we're not talking about the babysitter murder. We're talking about the one where the old lady tries to dry her dog inside the microwave, which is an awful urban legend.
Oh, I don't think I'd ever heard of it until. Again, possibly this film, but it's fucking gross. Yo, we did Idle Hands last time. There was a hand in the microwave in that one, and now this one, there's a dog. But everyone, don't you fucking worry, it is a fake dog.
Parker runs downstairs, opens up the microwave, and his dog is exploded inside their R.I.P. best buddy.
Oh,
and that dog didn't deserve it.
It's gross though. It didn't. No dog
Parker has the correct reaction to his dog being murdered. He is torn apart, as anybody would have been. Best acting in the movie, for sure.
Yeah. Rosenbaum brings it back, and he's like, runs upstairs to vomit, as you would.
You see this? So you see how everything just happens in flashes in this murder scene?
Yeah. So, you're right. I do really like his murder scene, though, because it takes a funnel, shoves it down his throat, pop rocks, hell yeah, pop rocks, and then washes it all up with
like Drano, essentially.
Drano, basically, which would fuck you up.
Which is an awful murder.
But you're right.
Yeah.
I think that's why maybe I enjoy it one that much. But you're correct. I've never noticed it before, but it was lots of flashes, almost strobe lights. Very quick.
Super quick.
Like
no tension whatsoever. Just quick murder scene.
I also feel like I remembered it being a little longer than that.
Oh, if you pay attention, before he answers the phone, you realize that the microwave is actually on, and you can see the dog inside, which is awful.
Oh.
If you, it's in the corner of the scene, but I just noticed this time. You're like, oh, poor fucking buddy.
We're very torn up about the dog, as always.
So we could.
Not the dog. Not the dog.
Dogs are sacred, and they cross that line in this movie. Probably why it did so bad. Mm-hmm.
That was it. It wasn't Jared Leto.
The Tara Reid scream thing, I think, is kind of fun with the way it played out, the way her urban legend kind of is reenacted from the previous one about the scream over the radio. Like, the movie had a good setup, you know?
And this young Tara Reid, right before she did American Pie, I enjoy her. She has another one where she's like, she did Josie and the Pussycats around the same time, which is a fun movie.
Yeah. Fun fact, Tara Reid did all of her own stunts in this next segment. So she jumps from the stairs onto the platform. You know?
Dang.
Good for her.
But her setup is, like you said, like the whole calling into the radio and...
Like, everybody thinks that what they're hearing on the radio is performative, but she's actually being murdered, and nobody's doing anything about it because they think it's just an act.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So she's running away from the killer. Again, Parker killer.
Parker killer, my fucking favorite.
But the thing is, like, the Parker doesn't even play...
It's turned into my favorite now.
Well, like, the Parker doesn't actually... Like, it would be different if the Parker actually had its own urban legend.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Like, if its own... Yeah.
Then it would make sense. You know?
The only thing is, based on allegedly it was supposed to be wintertime, which they completely cut, because they're like, oh, look, we're not going to make fake snow. That's too much money. And I understand that.
Yeah.
But... you could have easily made a costume change.
Or they could have made up a Parker killer. Like, I'm surprised they didn't make up a bunch of urban myths for this. I mean, I get it. You have a slew of, you have a ton of urban legends to pull from. I
think that is where I don't like the costume choice. It's like it could have easily fixed it before you went into production, before you went into filming, especially when you made those last minute changes. But I love it now. I love the Parker killer.
I make things a lot of times, and sometimes simplicity is the best thing. Keep it simple, stupid. The only thing I don't like about Tara Reid's chase is she does the whole little wide arm race where, like, your arms are flailing, and then she goes in a circle back to the studio where the killer first started chasing her. Like, I guess you thought it was the safest room, the room you first started in, and not the exit.
I have to go finish my radio show.
That is a building. I'm sure it has several fire exits. And
she could have gotten out.
Yeah, she could have gotten out. And then, for some reason, the Parker killer knows exactly where she is. And on the air...
Oh, crazy!
Yeah, I guess because if she would have left the building, maybe she would have lost... the feed.
Yeah, perhaps.
And then in a bloodless murder, gets hacked up to pieces.
In a bloodless murder.
There is no blood on that. She gets hacked to pieces.
No blood.
Nothing splatters. A couple of whacks.
Not even on the killer. Not on the wall. Not on the window.
At least the window.
What were they thinking? At least the window.
I want to say this was rated PG-13, probably. Fun fact, a lot of people actually like the composed music for this movie. I'm just like... it was done by Christopher Young, who had previously scored several horror films, including The Dorm, That Drip Blood, Hellraiser 1987, and I think he got some accolades for it afterwards. And I was actually listening to it this time, and I actually did notice it before I heard about the music getting recognized, the composed music getting recognized for this. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, that's decent. That's pretty good. So we get the wrong turn thumbs up here. I don't know. We're gonna come up with it. We're gonna get
the best. Yeah, I like it. The wrong turn thumbs up. Absolutely. We are brainstorming some fun ideas on that.
You did a little. I like what you just probably forgot.
No, it's just not quick enough. It is rated R though. Urban Legend. It is technically rated R, but who knows with the editing, they, like you said, cut it down to a PG-13 rating. I wanted to make a little bit of a note before we jump into, there apparently was supposed to be a 2020 reboot of this movie But then COVID happened, and then the studio lost interest. So I think they just were like, never mind.
Yeah, which I mean, I think they're only going to lose interest for a little bit because, like I said, the concept is good, and there's only so many more like urban legends now, and the whole thing with creepypasta, like
creepypasta could be its own
there is.
thing.
There's already so many creepypasta movies that are not good, but like there is plenty of room to play around with.
Yeah, like the creepy or like urban legends versus like a creepypasta, because that's basically what creepypasta turned into.
Yeah,
was a place to just go find all the spooky stories.
But I think like they were saying that urban legends are folklore, but some of them are based in truths. Like some of these about the Stanley Hall massacre, apparently, or about the killer at the college dorms, might have a reference to Richard Speck, who's that guy who murdered all the nurses at that school. So their urban legends are supposed to have like maybe a hint of truth in some of them, but like with creepypasta, they're just fantastical, random stories.
Oh yeah. There's absolutely. I think one of the most famous ones was like the Russian experiment or something about. Oh, it was something along the lines of it was Russian soldiers of some sort were forced to stay awake and then like given medication to like stay awake and then the basically start rotting from not sleeping. The image they used for that creepypasta was literally just a creepy mummy doll from like a Halloween store. And it's like it's really creepy image. I'll have to send it to you, or maybe I'll put it up on our Instagram. I probably will, because it's a terrifying image, but then you realize it's just like a creepy mummy decoration for Halloween at a Halloween store that they just edited and made black and white and made it look like it was supposed to be a person. And it's like, what the fuck? Because I think I believed that one for a minute, and then I was like, oh, wait a second. Like,
all right, so we're chatting it up because I feel like there's a bit of a lull with the chases, even though we do get 2 kills.
There really is.
Parker and Tara Reid kills back to back. But then it just becomes a bit of a chase scene. Alicia comes across Jared Leto, and then Jared Leto and Alicia come across Rebecca Gayheart, and then they're like, there's a killer on the loose and something's going on. And they all decide to get in Leto's Grand Wagoneer and just get out of the campus, which is probably the smartest move. But then they realize that they need some gas. Well, they need to make a phone call, so we'll stop at the first gas station, the one Michelle Mancini should have gone to at the first place in the beginning of the movie, and call for help. And it is pouring right now. But, in the fun fact, in a second it won't be because continuity error. And then they realize there's a really, really bad stink in the car. Alicia and Rebecca have a bit of a moment being like, look, we really like Paul Leto, Jared Leto, whatever. Which Paul Duke Leto is the guy from character from Dune, never mind. They have a bit of a moment where they hug it out and they're just being like, look, I want you to be happy. You know, whatever.
Yeah.
And then they realize there's a phone ringing in the background from the back seat. And for some reason, the Grand Wagoneer doesn't have any glass in the back.
Crazy.
So, which I'm like, okay, cool. All that water is getting inside your car. No wonder it stinks. With that and the side of Fred Krueger Wexler back here. Just all bent up. Like he is turned around.
Yeah.
So this killer's been busy. And then they look over to Jared Leto. And Rebecca's just like, yeah, you can have him. That was pretty. I do like the setup for that joke.
I do. Yeah, you can have him.
And then just a lot more chasing goes on. I'm like, this is where it kind of loses it a little bit.
Yeah. That is always an interesting part when we do these recordings and we have the movie on. I can always tell. I was like, oh, wait. Like, there are a lot more lulls than I thought. Like, because just like us talking about it, I'll be like, oh yeah, this chase scene's really not that like extraordinary, or it's not.
Well, if you notice, it's not raining.
I know, I was gonna say, no longer raining.
It goes from downpour.
Down, which is fair. I mean, that does happen, but one, probably way too expensive to try to even make it look like it was still raining, which is probably why they didn't do that.
It says that throughout the shoot, the director sought to keep the on-screen violence muted or implied rather than show the explicit details. Several of the moments of the violence written in the script were not filmed. Among them was a shot of Wagner's character, severed head, Michelle Mancini's, severed head rolling onto the floor after her death. The death sequence in the film, however, required significant technical planning and providing special makeup.
Interesting. Okay.
Alicia, redhead wit, comes across. For some reason, the only car she stops in the middle of the road just happens to be the janitor. Small world.
Small world. He's finally going home for the day.
Yeah. And it is implied that Rebecca Gayheart has been murdered out in the field because they get separated out in the woods, and she calls for her and just hears her scream. And then, of course, the janitor has his own parka, so we're led to believe that the killer is
the janitor. Which, to be fair, they did kind of. You were pointing to that pretty much throughout the movie, him being this eerie character in the background.
But you feel like when you have like arrows pointed in all directions, like
it's not that person. As horror experts as we are,
no, but like all these arrows get kind of. Well, regardless, we come across the killer in a second, so we know the killer isn't
the janitor,
the weird janitor character.
But Alicia's so fucking janitor. Dramatic, and she just sees the parka, and she's like, "It's you!"
In final girl fashion.
Final girl fashion.
She's trying to survive. So, for some reason, the Grand Wagoneer is stronger than this Ford Bronco, or this Ford F-150, and gets thrown off the side of the road. And exit stage is left with weird janitor character titled Little Janitor. And Alicia is perfectly fine and just goes down another chase scene. And she runs back onto campus. I'm surprised she knew where she was going.
And it is raining again.
And it's raining again. I mean, yeah, I guess you could do a movie like based on like creepypastas, or like several creepypastas.
Yeah, but don't you dare call it creepypasta. I have like a better name, but I don't know. All right, back into urban legend. Sorry.
So we have Alicia. She ran up to what is an emergency phone, perfect for this situation, but there's only one security guard at this whole stupid fucking campus. and apparently the whole point of these fucking call boxes is that there's supposed to be somebody on the other line, or they're supposed to call the actual cops. But
yes,
apparently Dean Baron Munchausen had given the names of Jared Leto and Alicia. So even when they do try to call the cops, we're like, well, no, we already know you guys are up to no good, so we're not going to show up.
Because it's the safest university in the United States. Once again, they don't need it.
Fucking A. And apparently Stanley Hall has been boarded up, and she can hear somebody screaming at the top. And Alicia, even though she is still running for her life, is going to run into danger to try to help somebody, because I guess that's what final girls do.
Yeah. Yeah.
But she doesn't get that messed up, as some final girls do. I would have liked to see her really, really.
I like it when the final girls do get really messed up.
Yeah, I'd like to see somebody really, really like that. Fight for their life. In a slow, pensive walk up the stairs, all she does is hear crying for like a minute. So we're just gonna... And we get our reveal as she walks into room 202.
Is that a special number? I don't think so.
I don't know. I guess maybe it was Rex's room or something like that, or if that's the way the urban legend goes. But this was a great setup.
Yes.
I
won't deny that.
A sleepaway camp, a la some other movies where the main character walks into a room and all the dead bodies are collected, which is like very efficient once we find out who the killer is.
God, I know, but I do like it. Like all the bodies are in the room, but
like wouldn't like they have torn down this building if like there was really a massacre?
You would have thought. And there's also a ton of shit still in this thing.
Oh yeah, they just boarded up the walls. They didn't move anything out. And for some reason, there's chains hanging from this closet.
Yeah, because It almost looks like it could have been. It's set up almost like a fucking haunted house.
Oh, 100%.
So
the spooktacular.
The spooktacular urban legend.
the Stanley Hall. She walks her way through. But also, like, wouldn't if somebody like smell like, hey, did you notice that like Stanley Hall, even though it's boarded up, smells like there's 7 rotting corpses inside? Not 6. Not 8. Yeah.
There's 7.
Yeah. So then she comes across the most romantic looking haunted room in the entire in the entire
I'm sorry.
Stanley Hall.
My go-to right away was there are too many open flame candles in this fucking house.
Would have been a perfect setup for a fire at the end. 100%.
Yes, it really would have.
But like I said, this killer is efficient.
Yes, she is. And here we go. We know it's a she. We know who it is.
Rebecca Gayheart.
It's Rebecca.
Was the killer all along, which I don't know if it was like a huge mystery, like when the first time I saw this movie.
I remember not being like, oh, you know what I mean? I just was like, okay. And this is a part where Miss Rebecca's acting just, it takes me out of it. It's just too over the top for me.
It's like slightly over the top, but it's just over the top enough where I'm like, okay, because her acting was bad. Like that was my point earlier, where she plays the dumb ditzy character, but I think it's just to throw everybody away because she's murdering all of her friends in the background. But yeah, she's obviously the unhinged, unwell, serial killer going after revenge because Alicia killed her fiance. I've seen it 100 times. Yeah, it happens all the time. No, but so it turns out Alicia had murdered or accidentally murdered her fiance the previous year with Michelle Mancini, unfortunately. So
her high school fiance was murdered by, manslaughter, whatever you want to say. He was the guy that was in the car that the two ran off the road. That started the urban legend, let's say, for the point of this movie. But yeah, that's, again, if you look at the context of this, teenager killed. Teenager. So they were engaged senior year of high school, which is fucking bonkers. I know that does happen, or it did happen. Maybe less so now.
Yeah, but like, it was still 19.
Less than that. They're 17. Roughly. 17, 18. It's her first love.
Maybe they were that in love, or like, it seemed like they were
first love, I get it. Oh, I get it, and I know you do too. That first time when you have that person. It feels like that. I get it. Yeah. So
if it feels like that, you just might commit a slew of murders.
You might be that unhinged. I don't know. We made it through.
We did, without murdering anybody.
We didn't. I didn't murder anyone.
Yeah, without murder. She also composed a
slideshow.
A slideshow, which is so much effort. If you've ever had to make slides before, I have.
Yes.
And it is such a process to make slides.
Yes, an actual slideshow. You guys, not a PowerPoint, not a keynote, a slideshow.
I went to high school at a time where colleges wanted a slideshow, a professional slideshow of your portfolio, and we're like, for why? Like now you just
what?
So much effort. All right.
But also note, if I do ever murder anyone, I will have a PowerPoint ready to go beforehand. So I'll be like, look, this is the reasons why I'm up to my murders.
But also, like, why didn't you do this to Michelle Mancini? Why are you only do this to
her?
Natalie, Alicia Witt's character? Like, I don't know. Like, she wasn't driving the car. It was just her car that was being used for the entire thing. And she doesn't even go to explain it here.
No. Like, if you are upset that your fiance got murdered by these girls and you're taking out your revenge.
And, like, also, like, these are barely your friends. These are only the people that you met your first freshman year of high school.
You guys, just on my experience, like, I do talk to a couple people. I do have college friends, but man, that first year is a blur.
You know what would have been really good? If she would have called some of her high school friends and realized they were all murdered as well.
Yeah. Oh.
Like,
I like that.
Shit.
I like that.
Give it a little bit of more context, other than
like she already went back to high school or to those colleges, murdered all of them, and now she just came out of this one and is like
anybody that was in her peripheral.
Yes, just like that. She's that love, hurt. She's that heartbroken. Love hurt
because she took away the love of her life, so she's going to take away anything she ever loved. Right? Her mom, her family,
that's right. Thank you.
All of her friends. Like, that would have been That would have been a decent setup, I think.
Yeah. But anyway, we're just right back into Rebecca slowly murdering Alicia in this fucking house, haunted house.
Because we have our last urban legend is the kidney heist, which it goes in a lot of different ways. Like, it could be like going on a date, or it could be like you're a tourist, or you answered a help wanted ad, and they all end up with you waking up the next day in a hotel room with your kidneys missing.
Yeah, your kidney missing in a bucket or in a bathtub of ice.
Yeah, which I forgot there was I recently saw, I think, was it in one of the Saw movies or something? I saw it in something recently. Like, not too long ago, it was replayed. And oh, man, I gotta track it down. But this whole, I think she does a fair amount of, like, fairly good acting, for being unhinged. But it's kind of easy to act like stereotypically crazy like that. But the whole thing kind of falls flat for me. The whole, like,
I agree.
I'm murdering you and I murdered all your friends, but, like, why'd you murder all my friends? Like, I just fucking met these people. But she is also upset that she took the love of her life, and she's also taking the new love of her life.
Oh, yeah, Jared Leto. We did pass over real quickly that there was a small standoff with Loretta, the security guard, the only security guard, and Rebecca, only because that's how we just needed to reference that Loretta's the one that actually ends up helping and shoots Rebecca in the leg, or arm, excuse me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I completely forgot about this. I completely forgot she was on the case. She pulls out her
she was on the
gun.
Case.
Yeah, I forgot. Loretta pulls out her bigger gun because she's just like, I'm pulling out the big guns for this fucking mission. Which, fair. And then they do have a bit of a tussle. But I'm like, really? Like, you had a gun.
You had a gun, I know, but it bugs me a lot that they brought in Jared Leto as, like, I'm here to save the day.
See, but the way, like, the tussle kind of, like, right, before you get to that, but before the tussle kind of takes place, like you're right, like all the violence is implied or, like, cut down, but I'm like, that was just, it gives you nothing.
It gives you nothing.
Like, all you see is her shoot the gun, flash, and then she's just laying on the floor, like, nothing, like, it doesn't, you can't, like, you obviously know what happens is implied, but it's, I don't know, it's too loose for me. But so then Rebecca has the gun pointed at Alicia, saying that they're gonna make the best couple, her and Jared Leto. He's gonna have the Pulitzer, and she's gonna help him out. They're gonna blame it all on Wexler. And Jared Leto walks into the room and says, "It's perfect." He's just like, "But I just have a few notes."
Yeah,
as they do. He's just like, "Just give me the gun. Tell me exactly how you did everything real quick. Just give me in great detail before you shoot."
Quickly, I need you to say it.
It would have been good if you had, like, the tape recorder on him.
Yeah, but you don't even get that. It makes it seem like he would have, because he's this journalist, right? He's here for the story.
Oh, but it was like, yeah, give me the gun. I'm going to take care of Alicia. And then Rebecca's like, you're cute, but you're fucking stupid.
Yeah.
This is the shittiest part for me.
Yeah. We have... Okay.
Oh, but this isn't even the end of the movie.
No, so, like, wrap it up at, like, I mean, like, we can wrap this up pretty quickly, as in, Rebecca gets shot through the window, and we just presume, like, okay, that's it, we did it. Yeah,
Jared Leto, right here with a little ADR, they go, oh, Loretta's going to be fine because the paramedics are on their way. So they went to get help. And then just turns out
that once again, we go right back to the beginning, or she's done this 3 times.
Where she's back in the backseat of the car?
Yes! Yeah. I'm sick of it.
Brenda's in the backseat of the car with an axe ready to go, and then they have a little bit of a tussle. They crash into a bridge, and Rebecca Gayheart just goes flying across
into the water.
Into the water, and then that's that, and her body washes away, and then the scene ends with somebody else at another college telling the story of how the urban legend killer killed all these kids, and they never found her body, and then they go around with a bunch of, which I would have loved it if they had done that scene with a bunch of other like CW actors, like a bunch of famous actors.
Oh
just
god,
in
that'd
for
have been
one
so
scene.
fun. Because
Oh,
God, I would have loved if they like thrown Seth Green in here real
dude,
quick.
Seth Green, Matthew Litter, like everybody
Yeah.
from Scream, like
just to be the
like
next
Sarah Michelle Gellar.
group
Oh,
of college kids. Because I don't mind this ending at all. I enjoy it. The fact that we're retelling this urban legend with a new group of kids, and then it comes back to be centered around Rebecca, who is dun 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 still alive and out here sporting some more urban legend.
it actually saved part of the fucking movie for
Right?
me.
Yes,
That
I
was-
agree.
That was, yeah, 100% Rhonda. She's still alive. Perfect. She's still alive. And she's going to do it again, possibly, but like
Yes.
even more unhinged for who God knows what fucking reason. Like, yeah, 100%.
So-
I'm there for that.
I'm there for that because with that ending, it makes me sort of believe that she's just unhinged and she's out there to be like, I'm going to do this again. And maybe it had nothing to do with her heart being broken or whatever. I don't know. I like how it brings you back a little bit.
Yeah. Because like these other characters that are just telling the story are just like pulled out of a fucking catalog. Is the most stereotypical like random bunch of characters that I've ever seen, and weird. I mean, I get it; it's a one-off scene, but it is a really really good wrap-up ending. And with that, guys,
Oof.
we got there. It took us a while.
There. Yeah,
This is gonna be edited down, but we feel exhausted after this one.
Yeah, we do because it was just a lot of, but nonetheless, I do enjoy this movie. I do. You said in the beginning, it is one that I think about and will throw on and be like, oh yeah, this movie.
Yeah.
So I would definitely, I'm going to agree with the audience here, and I'm going to just settle in right. I'm going to do 5.5 weird janitors. Probably my favorite character was that guy. Least favorite character, and the only movie that I will watch Jared Leto in is this movie. So I guess there's that.
I'm gonna give it, 5.5 parkas.
Parkas.
Like the journey of this movie is really really fun.
Yes.
The deaths and the how we play up into urban legends is really really inventive, and nobody's ever done it since, other than the sequels for this movie. Yeah. We hope you guys had a wonderful day, and thanks for listening. If you made it this far, and make sure to follow us on Instagram and YouTube, because who knows if TikTok's going to be around for much longer. And let us know what you guys liked about this movie. If you liked it at all, if you got it completely wrong, 100%, say hi.
Say hi.
Yeah, I'll talk to you guys later.